think you're good. Can you hear me? I don't know. Mo's giving me the signal. All right, I'll just continue. I don't know if Mo can hear me at all. We'll keep going until Mo can hear me. I'm not certain. I'll reconnect to this call as well. See if that does anything. But we'll go into the draft, take a look.
Enchantress.
And Enchantress first. All right. Alliance going into the Enchantress. Very different to what we saw just in the previous game. Enchantress, though, gets picked up and has been a 5 from Alliance in the past, especially when they played Navi just the other day. And, they played that with the Slark, Nyx, Centaur, as well as the Lina. And I think that was the only other time that they've played this Enchantress. But it's been picked up a couple of times to be in that 5 position. And now Nigma right in to the Rubik. So GH out on that Rubik for the second game. And, he's come off that Wisp game enough to get a respect ban in that first phase.
Remaining. 5 seconds remaining.
It's, a bit of a different pickup for GH there. Surprised maybe that they didn't go for, say, the Earthshaker. At least through the event so far, Nigma has played him on, I don't think, on that Rubik just yet. He did play that Earthshaker earlier on in the event. And then, we saw him play an amazing game on that Phoenix up against Fly to Moon. And we talked about it in the first game where it was just, how well GH was playing to the point where we said he's playing like a 4th core. You've got GH who has played, a multitude of heroes so far. And actually, taking a look, he has played that Rubik. It was that second game up against OG. And he went 10-2 and 29. I mean, that is an amazing game on the Rubik. And now they go back to the Batrider. I'm a little bit surprised that they go back to the Batrider. After Weeha kind of struggled after the laning phase, I'm a bit shocked that they would go back to this and the Death Prophet gets picked up for Alliance.
5 seconds remaining.
We're here. Yeah.
So I hope you got some of my signals before.
I saw the cut
back.
signal. That one that's very big in TV.
To ban.
Or I don't want to work with this guy anymore. Usually it's the same signal. But I caught a couple of them. Came into the draft. I spoke about the Rubik. I thought GH hadn't played it up to this point, but he played it in Game 2 against OG in the upper bracket and then destroyed with it. So a little bit of misreporting on my end.
He is incredibly good on that hero. His game against OG, how he became a 4th core in the Phoenix game that we casted. He effectively did the same on his Rubik against OG. So that's why I was saying when he's played so well this tournament become a 4th core, it wasn't just because of one game. He's done it in several. And I wasn't surprised to see the Wisp banned out by Alliance, though, again. Like we were saying, he did so well on that last game, even though they lost. I know you're talking about them going back for this Batrider. I actually think it's still okay. Like, Weeha plays really well on this hero, and it's his most comfortable pick in Dota at the moment. It also does okay against the Death Prophet mid as well. So I think if I had to decide one hero for Limp to play, I thought he was his best hero. I think Death Prophet would be up there.
10 seconds
so
remaining.
both heroes mid going to be really strong by each individual player.
Remaining.
It wouldn't surprise me now, though, to see S4 end up playing the DP as the offlaner instead. And then they end up picking a different mid on Alliance.
They also banned the anti-mage. Wow. I mean, even despite the fact that it felt very one-sided after a certain point, they played the anti-mage and the Wisp well enough to get the respect bans out of Alliance. But at the same time, it's like anti-mage gets banned pretty standardly.
Yes.
That's a word?
Standardly.
Or pretty regularly. So, it's not the biggest surprise that it gets banned here. does feel like it's leaned on a little bit more to get the
5
ban
seconds
due to the
remaining.
fact that Miracle played an amazing
Dire
first
team
part of that game. Not to say that he played the back end poorly either. You know, there were parts that he really was still impressive on, but there just wasn't much he could do once Nico Baby started running away with that game.
I'm thinking Venge TB is still in the pool for Nigma here. I think the Venge hero in particular is still really strong. I'm surprised it
5
hasn't been picked up so
seconds
far.
remaining.
Magnus is still in the pool if somebody wants to go for it as well, but I think the Venge, and particularly the TB that Miracle plays so well, might end up being dabbled with here by Nigma. They could go for the clock as well, still, if they wanted, for RMN on Nigma, which is pretty good. I think you just want to pick your position 5 here, though. It's the most important thing. Yeah, they go Warlock.
Ooh.
Okay. This is new. I mean, we haven't cast it, at least. I think somebody else has played it once this tournament. I can't remember who it was, but...
I swear we got one game with it.
Did we?
10 seconds remaining.
I
5 seconds
thought we
remaining.
did early on. But, you know.
So what do they want to pick now that they're against the
Dire
Warlock?
team pick.
So it's because it's like much different to normal, right? Okay. Now, this Nyx pick is... I mean, Hansen's very good at this hero. It's really good against Batrider, obviously, because you have the Carapace against the Firefly.
Yeah.
But I think when you play Nyx against Rubik in particular, like, all the steals that you can
10
get as the
seconds
Rubik feel
remaining.
really strong. Like, Carapace is probably the worst, but even then, it's still okay,
5
because it can, like,
seconds
take people by
remaining.
surprise. If you ever get Impale or Mana Burn, you do such a huge amount of damage, especially in the late game, with the Arcane Supremacy.
Alliances
And
turn
the
to
stun
pick.
duration on the Impale is crazy as well. And they go for the
Ooh.
Spectre. I mean, I think this hero is just so strong at the moment. And you have the protecting, like, babysitter position 5 in the laning stage as well. So
Yeah.
the Spectre should have a really good time no matter what they pick here on Alliance.
So, looking back at Alliance's draft
10
so far
seconds
throughout this
remaining.
event, you know, with the Nyx Assassin as well as the Enchantress, it kind of fits what they did
5
game 1
seconds
against
remaining.
Na'Vi, where they went Enchantress, Nyx, Sark, Centaur, Lina, and they can still go
Alliances turn to
Slark
ban.
and Centaur. But as I say that, they go into the Darkseer, which has been picked up a couple of times, I think, recently.
Yeah, I know Seb's played it one game, and I think Mind Control played it the other one, actually.
10 seconds
Yeah,
for
it
Nigma,
was their
so-
first game against Fly to Moon.
Yeah,
5
so
seconds remaining.
the Darkseer obviously pairs up really well with the Nyx in the laning stage as well. Like, empowers that Nyx hero a lot, and it makes sense now why they've picked the Nyx if they thought about picking the Darkseer anyway. It makes Nyx's game a lot better, and also you have the break as well against the Spectre, which is, I know it's like a small thing, but it's pretty good for the
Dire team
Vendetta. At least you have a way of trying to deal with the Spectre in the late game without building like silver edges and whatnot.
Mhm.
I don't know how much I like the Darkseer pick though. I think the Spectre still has a really good lane because of the constant Warlock heals coming through. But I think Surge is a pretty crazy skill, especially when you have DP on your
10
team as well.
seconds remaining.
A surged up DP just running in with Exorcism is... I
Alliances turn to ban.
don't know if you've ever seen it before, but it's pretty scary. It does mean that the DP's going to be mid, though, which, when you're going to be playing up against a Batrider, I don't know how much I like that. I guess Nico Baby has played it in the past before,
10 seconds remaining.
so it could still be safe lane.
5 seconds remaining.
Ban that Mars, ban the Lifestealer.
And what do you pick? Like, Alliance, I feel like they have like a hero to deal with the
Team
Batrider kind of in the Nyx, but I feel like it's not really enough. They need something else as well. They need somebody that lanes okay against the Batrider, I think, more importantly, which is why you see the Lifestealer banned out. I think something like PL might be considered to be taken out here by Nigma.
10 seconds remaining.
Potentially the Jug as well, I think.
5 seconds
And I
remaining.
think the PL's a little bit better.
I think they might be able to deal with the Jug a little bit better. We'll see what they want to ban. As for Nigma, what are you looking towards as they ban the Mars, they ban the Tidehunter? two pretty
Alliance's
significant
turn to
offlaners in the mix, and they go Wraith King banned, so not the Phantom Lancer or the Jug getting banned out here.
Yeah, I still would have thought they wanted something that lanes up a little bit better against the Batrider. I mean, DP's not awful because you have the Spirit Siphon, which can, like, try and dissuade the Batrider from jumping onto you.
10
I think
seconds remaining.
that still doesn't really care.
5
Nigma needs
seconds
some, like,
remaining.
tanky teamfight hero to play, especially with the Warlock Fatal Bonds, right? Like,
Dire team
at the moment, this Bonds is going to be so important for their team fight, but they need, like, good setup. They need good, like, play potential. I really like this Ursa pick, though, actually. I think the laning stage is a little bit difficult, especially if they decide to put the Batrider off lane. But at the same time, like, this mid game, you're going to have a vacuumed,
10 seconds remaining.
not vacuum, an Iron Shelled Surge Ursa just running at you, right?
5
And a
seconds
Spectre in
remaining.
particular is going to absolutely hate that. I think they have to double down on teamfight here for Nigma, like with the Warlock Fatal Bonds, like with. I mean, maybe they could go Centaur or something as well, might be okay, but I don't know how much I like that. It lanes up pretty poorly against the Ursa. Something like Pugna could be okay as well, but it gets destroyed by Nyx. And they have the Dispel on the Ench as well to take off Decrep.
Do you end up throwing the Batrider in the offlane and going something different mid?
I think they could potentially, yeah. But then, like, the Batrider does okay against DP mid as well. Like, in my eyes, at least. I might be wrong about that, but... I mean, they could go, like, Sand King or something, potentially. I think, on Nigma. But again, I don't think it's amazing. There's nothing that really stands out to me for them to, like, last pick. It's a really big gotcha pick, you know?
You may now select your
So they do go
heroes.
Sand King. Okay. I mean, Mind Control really likes this hero. I mean, they've like, in the most recent few patches or so, they first picked this hero for him before. So he's very confident on it. But I'm surprised they've gone for it. Like, so I think this Enchantress is going to make the lane really difficult for the Rubik and the Sand King. I think the one that I'm really interested to see is the mid lane, though, between Limp and Weeha, because I think Batrider should have a good time, but like we said, Limp's been really good in a lot of his laning stages so far, especially early on. So it'll be interesting to see how he tries to punish Weeha here.
Yeah, you know, we talked about that, and then we also talked about, or also saw in the previous game, like, what should have been a better matchup there for the Lina, it seemed, go a little bit downhill, where Weeha took advantage of some missteps from Limp.
Yeah, because the Weeha, like we were saying, always has kill potential, though. And it's the same on the DP again. Like, DP should be okay in the laning stage for most of the time, but if DP's ever caught out in a position where she can die, Weeha will punish, like, Limp really hard.
Yeah.
So it's a really difficult scenario. Maybe they consider doing some, like, weird aggro try or something. I don't know. That sounds pretty bad as well for Nigma. I don't know, I think their side lanes look really good on Alliance. Like, both of them. I think Spectre should be fine, but, like, when the level 3s come online or so for the level 2 Iron Shell and the level 2 Impale, I think they do have some kill potential when they're off lane for Alliance.
So we'll see how it goes. Alliance looking to 2-0 here. They're away into the grand final, trying to punch that ticket. But Team Nigma trying to recreate the early game success that they had in the first and try and work from there. So we'll see how it goes. If Nigma can push this to a game 3, we haven't had many of those game 3s throughout the event. Only 3 total. We had 2 yesterday and 1 today. So we'll have to see if Nigma can push it.
I think this Darks is going to be such an important hero this game, right? Because it enables the Ursa, it enables the Nyx, and the Surge is really good on the DP as well. So if you're Nigma and you're approaching fights in the mid game, right, you want to pop the Horn, you want to pop, like, you want your Batrider to be able to blink in and pick up the key target, which I think has to be the Darkseer this game. And you need to be able to burst him down from 100 to 0, but I don't know if they have the damage to do that until they, like, the Spectre gets really big.
But even if they do get close to that point, like, are you just going to be building Guardian Greaves and utility here on this Darkseer? So, like, how does that even end up happening?
So like you're
30
probably going to end up going
seconds to
Greaves
that.
Pipe on the dark side this game before like maybe going back for a blink or something, you know, when you get to the late game. And that's what I mean. Where's their damage going to come from when he gets those utility items online? It's going to be really difficult.
It seems like it could be a potential problem here for Nigma come later into the game. As I think if S4 has a good start and starts grabbing these items that keep him alive, you know, these utility items that keep him alive early on, everything will start to fall apart from there. When you can't kill these heroes, can't get anything done, and, you know, things get harder and harder for you to accomplish, where it might feel like you almost are throwing yourself at a brick wall.
A little bit potentially, but again, like I still think the Spectre should have an okay time, like with the Warlock in the laning stage. I think the sanking Rubik against the Ursa Ench is a weird one. I think obviously GH is going to try and block this big camp over and over again. You can see they've put the sentry down to try and de-ward the big camp, but there actually isn't a ward blocking it. They've moved their ward just to the side a little bit, so GH is probably just going to end up body blocking it a lot of the time.
I want to make sure that FNG on this Enchantress can't enchant anything of value or enchant anything really at all. Meanwhile, mid, Weeha, one more shot, 10 stacks of sticky napalm, and gets first blood. Pops the salve, stays in lane, and Weeha already finding himself a kill in this lane. This is, of course, a big change from giving up first blood in game 1.
And this is exactly what I'm talking about. I don't really know how deep he's supposed to lane here, because when Bat Knight Rider gets level 3, it's going to be even harder as well, because I assume he goes for Firefly, and then he has even more kill potential. Weeha's going to have the bottle really soon as well. Yeah, he's got it coming out in the courier now.
And that sets him up for this lane, like, you know, especially if he can secure that 4-minute rune, which I think is going to be very important, so you'll probably see GH rotate. Meanwhile, top S4 to the Fatal Bonds ends up dead. So right away, Nigma on the right foot, recreating the magic that they had in the early parts of the first game.
So this is something we talked about in the first game, though. It's really important for Nigma that they don't let the Radiant side get level 2 first in this lane, because when they get the Iron Shell and the Surge, it's really difficult for the Spectre and the Warlock to, like, offer any kill threat. So they push the lane in really hard early on with the Fatal Bonds, and they hit their level 2 and they just go on the Darkseer before he gets his.
What do you do though if you're Death Prophet and you just get forced out of lane? You die 2-3 times.
They can still play around the Exorcism, right? And in this mid game, they're going to have the surged up DP, so she's going to be really scary still, even if her lane's a little bit difficult.
Mm-hmm.
But it's obviously not ideal for them. And here's the Firefly at 9. He actually took the Napalm again at level 3, but went back for the Firefly at 4. You tend to see a lot of these mid-bat runners go for either like 4-1-1 or 3-1-2.
Now you catch yourself all of a sudden out of position or a little bit too far up with a couple of stacks of sticky napalm, and you'll get hit with the flame break into the Firefly, or what we saw in the previous game where Weeha got a pretty quick 6. He would just flame break you if you came too close to the tower and lasso you. That's the thing, these Crypt Swarms keep coming out, but 4 stacks of sticky napalm, all you've got is a shared tango. Limp can't exactly keep himself too close as he continues to taunt, but he's still 16-2, so he's CSing pretty well, despite the fact that the harassment feels like a lot from Weeha.
Yeah, this top lane is one that hasn't gone as well for me on Alliance's side that I thought it would, especially with that early death on the Darkseer, but it's all about getting their levels in this lane. And Nick's Darkseer, they've hit this level 3 now, so this is the time that they want to start pressuring the Spectre straight away.
And immediately, that's what they go to. Spectral Dagger thrown at both Hanskin and S4, but they'll hit the Impale. With the Iron Shell on him, Miracle's going to get run down, but the Spectral Dagger close to the tree line where he's at.
Bot lane as well. Nika Baby's in trouble now as well.
But the Fable GH gets the double kill. They had gotten FNG. I'm surprised they get the Ursa too.
Top lane though, Miracle again.
Continue to get chased. They go under and dive the tower just to grab this kill on a Miracle. And I say just, but it is very worth it for them to grab that kill, especially with the Ursa going down bottom. But look at the damage that Nyx Assassin is taking from these Fatal Bonds. It won't be enough. But
Yeah, he has Tranquils now as well, so he can just heal through the Fatal Bonds because it's magical damage. So it doesn't take off the Tranquil Boots.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
and they really needed that kill onto Miracle up towards top.
Are fortified.
Look at this creep as well, just zoning out bot lane.
Tower
Like,
is under attack.
I say that, I think...
FNG.
Okay. Well,
He's going to go down. Limp dies over mid, and then Weeha finally falls. Hanskin makes the rotation, but that is the second time that Limp dies. You're losing FNG again, and it's becoming very apparent that Nigma are playing their lanes aggressively and succeeding. As S4
Now,
under the tier 1 tower, he is in a lot of trouble, decides to go into the trees to try and juke, and will eventually just get run down. RMN getting credit for the kill.
well played by Nigma. They recognised that the Nyx went mid to try and help the DP, so they punished the Darkseid straight away. But this lane's really difficult now for Limp. Batrider's actually going to rotate bot here. He gets stunned up by the neutral. But he has Lasso now because he's level 6, so Nico Baby's going to just probably end up dying here.
Oh, perfect flame break into the lasso. They've got the control. There's the burrow strike. Nico Baby falling and continuing to extend that lead here for Nigma.
So this is the rotation that we saw Weeha do last game. Do you remember when he tried to do it against the Slark and it didn't work?
Yep.
But this time it's the exact same thing, but he manages to get it to work. Is Hanskin in a little bit of trouble here?
He's got a couple of stacks.
Limp's coming over, but
He's got Spike Carapace. Gets a 5th stack on him, 6 stacks coming through. RNN
He has 3
making the
points in
rotation,
Carapace.
flame break, Spike Carapace, now Exorcism. Weeha in trouble. Gets the kill on Hanskin, but gives up his life. Let's see what they can do with this Exorcism, if it's anything more than just the Weeha kill.
yeah, I mean that's a massive kill for Limp, but at the same time, like he's not getting the tower with this. Oh, if he gets RMN though as well, this is really good.
RMN surviving a little bit longer, just taking up some time, but he is dead, turning around and looking into the eyes of this Death Prophet Olymp. So they get the kill, and then over towards bottom, Hanskin makes a rotation. GH, though, has the telekinesis with Burrow Strike coming through. Nico Baby, you try to fight this with the help of Hanskin and FNG, and will get the kill on Mind Control as they had the dust to keep the vision.
Man, I love these games so much. We have 14 kills in 7 minutes. Like, it's an absolute bloodbath in game 1 as well. Like, they really want to just try and get active early on and make everything happen, or at least as much as they can.
Miracle taking a lot of damage up in the top lane, but S4 forced to retreat. And drums early for Miracle.
Oh, he went drums before boots as well. Okay.
Ever since we started seeing the Meteor Hammer, I've been excited about that, but it seems to have switched to the more popular build of the drums.
Well, look at Weeha here, though. He wants Limp so badly. He knows that
Burrow
Limp has no
Strike.
mana as well.
Burrow Strike hits Hanskin, and
DP.
that's just to really get away from the hands of the Earth. So they've gotten the lasso onto the Death Prophet. 4 stacks of sticky napalm. Weeha gets another kill here. He's now sitting 5-2, and this time a kill
Oh my god.
deep onto the Radiant side doesn't cost him his life.
He gets a
Bottom.
haste root as well.
They've got Miracle coming over, and Nico Baby, they've got the dust. Shockwave not enough damage to get the kill on the Sand King. FNG dies to GH. Fable thrown to Hanskin as well as Nico Baby.
comes Weeha.
coming through with the haste. Flame break hits, and now the damage is going to be put onto the Nyx Assassin. They have the Burrow Strike to lock up Nico Baby for a second, but the Impale hits onto Weeha under the tower. Burning away is Hanskin and will finally fall. They'll take out Nico Baby, and it's a double kill for GH, and nobody falling despite the fact that multiple heroes were under 100 health.
Yeah, really well played by Nigma. Great dive under the tower. Mind Control, I thought he was going to die to the Ursa, but like you say, he got really low without actually falling. So, really, I want to say kind of fortunate for Weeha, though. He manages to get the kill on the Limp DP, which is great, but then he finds a haste room, which allows him to come down into this bot fight, which is the main reason this Nyx and the Ursa end up dying.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Wait, phase boots? Okay. Phase boots for RMN.
Okay. I mean, it's pretty good armor, though, against the DP and the Ursa too, right? Like, I don't think I've ever seen Warlock phase boost before.
Neither have I. So, Spirit Siphon, Burrow Strike comes through. They've got the lasso onto S4. They get the kill onto this Darkseer, but they will lose Weeha. Seems to be the case when he gets most of these kills so far. And, oh, Jesus. Vendetta hits.
Coming
They
in the
get the kill
backline
onto
though
Mind
with
Control.
GH.
Telekinesis. Oh, God, the stolen Vendetta!
Okay, so I'm pretty sure what just happened there was basically when you cast Vendetta. Well, hang on. I'll let Limp try and finish off his exorcism usage here.
Looks over at RMN, and the damage is there to get the kill onto this Warlock. So continuing to trade back and forth of these two teams. We're 10 minutes in. We have 23 kills.
So, but something I want to talk about quickly there is GH stole Vendetta and he hit the Nyx. But when you hit Nyx on and he has a Carapace on, it counts as 2 separate hits. You have the normal auto attack and the Vendetta hit. And I think he Carapace back the normal attack. And then the Vendetta damage hit him. Which is kind of unfortunate for Hanskin, but it's just the way it is.
The thing here, too, for GH is he's probably going to want to keep that Vendetta. It's on cooldown for another 40 seconds, and I wouldn't be surprised if he tries to, work with this to get a gank somewhere, because, it's a lot easier for him to land his stun than it is for the Nyx Assassin. Now, of course, these are better players, where they should be landing the Impale 9 out of 10, 9.5 out of 10 times. But
it doesn't matter how good you are, that Nyx stun is still a little bit difficult to land sometimes.
Yeah, you don't... I think with Rubik having it, though, you don't have to sacrifice the Vendetta damage to, land the stun instead.
Yes, yeah. Almost has the mech on the Darkseer here.
The question becomes, is that going to be enough? Like, we talked about if it will be. The Vendetta hits. Now they've got Mind Control in some trouble, but the Burrow Strike gets some distance between him and S4 and Houndskin. Fade Bolt, GH, now Vendetta once again. They've got the Haunt. They get the kill on a Limp. They look over at the rest of the team. S4 stunned up. Weeha coming over. Hanskin one shot from dead. And S4 will be able to surge away, but they won't be so lucky on the Nyx Assassin. Ooh,
I mean,
Flame
Limp
Break
dying mid
from
is...
Weeha. Is he going to go for this? 3 stacks of sticky napalm. Weeha in a bit too far. The Fable comes through. They'll get the kill. The Iron Shell burns out Weeha, but the Spectral Dagger hits on the Nico baby. Mind Control with the Burrow Strike. They'll trade, and they will kill the Ursa.
Nico baby, I don't think he realized that GH had Carapace, and he just ran in and slapped him.
Radiant's top tower is
Oh no.
attack.
Poor Nico baby. That's what I was saying though. Anything you steal as Rubik from this Nyx feels incredible. Like even the Carapace sometimes is really effective. I think they got the kill on the DP Limp. The Limp DP mid, sorry. Which is the huge one there overall. Like, the more you can slow down this DP, like, it hurts our game so much. Limp especially has been playing from ahead a lot so far this tournament, so... Like we saw from the Lina last game, it would be interesting to see if he can recover quite as well as he did before. Especially when Nico baby's not having quite as good of a game as he did on the Slark.
Hanskin surged. Spike Carapace looking for the stun. Pump fakes it a couple times. GH now telekinesis throws him down on S4, taking some damage, but doesn't end
Still
up
alive.
dead.
He has
look at all
Siphon
these
stolen.
heroes coming in. He's got the Spirit Siphon stolen as well as the upheaval slowing down these heroes. The Flame Break now Limp with the surge. He's just trying to run. Spectral Dagger comes in. They're hit with the Fatal Bonds on multiple heroes, so S4 he'll get run down. Hanskin taking some damage to silence. It's down to 3, but they've got the lasso. So they lock down Limp. They have the Burrow Strike to follow it up. FNG, S4, and Limp all fall down.
Hanskin as well.
And Hanskin will follow them to the grate.
Radiant structures are fortified.
GH is 509 on this
Radiant's
Rubik.
middle tower is under attack.
Jesus.
I mean, he's the only guy that hasn't died this whole game. And he's playing
Radiant's middle
Rubik.
tower has fallen.
Do you remember when I told you at the start of this series I think he was the guy to watch out for Nigma? I feel
Yeah.
like my comments have been vindicated now.
Midas for Nico baby. Nico baby, compared to the Spectre, though, so far behind and doesn't have the benefit of Empower.
Yeah, not like last game, unfortunately. FNG might be in
and
trouble
the
here as
Spectral
well.
Dagger. FNG in some trouble, getting run down, but Hanskin, he's coming over. I think if you throw that Vendetta hit, you better kill this Rubik. He throws the Impale, and now it's the mana burn, but I'm not certain that's going to be enough. Silence on a 2, Vacuum back, GH on the run. Now Chaotic Offering hits on a 3. They've got the Fatal Bombs on a couple. It's actually just on the creeping Hanskin, but S4 is still looking like he's in some trouble. Burrow Strike from Mind Control off the high ground.
Nika Baby.
On Hanskin, they take out S4. Nico Baby's rotating over, but can he even get anything out of this? There's the Fable thrown at Nico Baby, forcing the Enrage, continuing to back off, and it's just continual problems for the side of Alliances. There's the Burrow Strike with the Epicenter. Down goes Nico Baby. Haunt comes in, limping, troubled. FNG dies again. They buy back on Hanskin. Look at the upheaval. Hanskin's not even moving, it feels like. He has just got his feet stuck in mud. Limp dies again. Hanskin looking like he's not long for this world. And he'll throw the Spike Carapace out to extend the inevitable, but under this tier 2 tower, you are not safe, and you will fall once more.
Tower is under attack. Dire are scanning.
My goodness. I mean, this Spectre as well, like, we've been talking about this Meteor Hammer as like the farming item, right? A lot of the games, but now this drums is such a popular item at the moment, and it's so strong as well. It gives you the ability to farm, but also you can fight so well because of the drums active, like the chase potential is there. And it feels like Mind Control with this Blink as well is always just finding the +1s. Like, Weehat doesn't even need Blink on the Batrider because he's so quick. But we haven't really seen that big vacuum into Impale play, right? I think it's the big one. That's how Alliance are going to like possibly come back into this game, but they're 10k behind in 16 minutes. Like,
yeah. GH 5-0-15. By the way, you know, you talked about how Batrider is quick enough without the Blink Dagger. Yeah, we saw that in the previous game when he would just run.
Yeah.
And he's got 420 movement speed right now.
I mean, you get the bonus movement speed from the Firefly when it's active as well, the extra 13%. So you just become like a little missile that's just running at them effectively. And I love that he's gone BKB first, because his biggest problem this game is the Nyx popping Carapace. And you see Hanskin has like prioritized that in his skill build as well, by getting 4 points by level 8. Which is, you know, it's not an awful build. Like, we see this a lot when you're playing up against Batriders. But now that he has this BKB, this Nyx is going to feel so useless.
What's GH holding on to right now? Enrage.
Is under attack.
Blink Burrow Strike on S4. Riaz here with the Firefly Telekinesis. He'll use the mech. Flame Break back into their hands onto the high ground. Slowed up, killed off, and down goes the Darkseer once again.
That felt very much like a cool guys don't look at explosions kill. Thing is as well, like, they don't really take Roche that well on Nigma, so at this point, when they would be like in such a dominating position, like, imagine if Alliance were in the same thing, right? They could just run into the pit with the Ursa, and it would be fine.
Top tower is under
But
attack.
they don't really have that luxury on Nigma this game, so they're going to have to just keep looking for the kills, finding the +1s all the time.
Did they spot him going into the trees?
Oh! Libs... Ooh. Just gets away with the TP.
Would have liked a Blink Dagger there.
I love that GH is 5-0-16, by the way, on this Rubik, but it's still last in net worth on his team. That's incredible.
Dire's courier
Yeah,
has
that's
been killed.
kind of nuts. He's actually below RMN.
Yeah, exactly. Like,
it's not like RMN has a Philosopher's thing.
GH just runs next to Miracle and pops the Enrage just before he dies, just before it runs out on the timer. Scares the hell out of Miracle. I love it.
Haunt used, Burrow Strike hits on a Hanskin. Nico Baby
Baby
trying to TP out, but they've got the last one to stop the TP. There's nothing he can do in this situation. They'll end up getting the kill into the Ursa. Now they look over at Nyx.
Blink Burrow.
GH trying to catch up. Mind Control does that for him. Blink Burrow Strike hits. They get the kill onto Hanskin. Taking out 2, making it very easy for Nigma.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Nice little arcane rune on the Sand King there, helping him out. I think, is this a Yules coming for the Sand King soon? Looks like it is. I really like this up against the Ursa in particular, because he doesn't have his BKB yet. He is working on it, Nico Baby, but I mean, he's so far away. Like, whenever Enrage gets popped by the Ursa, you just Yules him up in the air now, and the duration basically gets wasted, right? You can't, the Yules doesn't get affected by the status resistance of the Enrage. So, easy peasy to try and kite him around the fight.
Weehat going on the high ground.
Yes, BKB,
He'll pop the BKB. Burrow Strike hits, walls down. Chaotic Offering follows it up. S4 can't get a vacuum off. He pops the mech, the silence comes in onto the Warlock, but S4 taking so much damage. Miracle running at him, gets the kill onto the Darkseer, and now it's over at the rest. But there's the Burrow Strike, down goes Hanskian, looking over at Limp. He'll yules himself up, trying to survive for a little bit longer as Nico Baby comes in with FNG, but the Fate Bolt's thrown. Ooh, just surviving is Limp, but they lose FNG, silence out onto GH. Will he finally die for the first time? It doesn't look like it. Double kill coming through, now unstoppable for Weeha as they get the kill on a Nico Baby. 4-0. And now back into Roche.
I'll be honest, I'm really surprised they haven't called it here, because I feel like giving away this first Roche when you have the DPS lineup for yourself is really soul destroying, right? You know, they don't have Exorcism to try and get into the pit and try and fight again here. Maybe if they can hold off for their BKBs, they might be able to do something, but they're so far away. Like, Limp and Nico Baby are both going for them, but it's going to take ages.
Get the Aegis into the hands of Miracle. He's got himself the Mantha. He's going into the Diffusal with these drums. Weeha, now he's going for that Blink Dagger. He is, I mean, this is, I think, more net worth than he had in the 35 minutes of last game.
Yes, 100%.
I don't mean to, you know, have that sound rude. It's just you can tell the difference in his game now by leaps and bounds.
Odds on Batrider getting banned next game. Batrider Wisp first two.
Definitely could be.
Oh, they found the Ench.
Telekinesis Burrow Strike from Mind Control coming in into the Sandstorm. FNG on the run, but won't make it far.
FNG decided to skip the ult, which is like, it's pretty standard still. Like, a lot of the time you don't level up this Untouchable to try and make use of either the Nature's Attendance or the Impetus in conjunction with the enchant, but he's basically just a range creep at this point.
On the high ground, though, Mind Control, Burrow Strike, wall down once again. They've got the vacuum. Here comes the Haunt. They get the kill on Mind Control. They take it away at 5 times.
Stolen wall.
Nico Baby taking a lot of damage. The wall that was stolen by GH is thrown down. Limp in trouble. And S4, he's on the run, but he won't make it far. Weeha with a double kill. They'll take out Limp. It's two heroes down on the side of Alliance. Looking over at Hansky. Can they stop the TP? No, they can't. But still 3 for 1 in the favor of Nigma, and GH still continuing to pad the assists.
Middle tower is under attack.
He's just getting those stats up, you know.
5-0 and 25.
I mean, it was a good try by Alliance, so they need to put this like vision down, try and play around their high ground advantage they had. But Mind Control just blinks in and says, if I die, at least you kill the rest of them, right? Like, they find 3 kills for it. It's absolutely fine. It was for the cause. Weeha, though.
Weeha
He has no
getting low.
BKB.
Doesn't have the BKB, but the Chaotic Offering on the 3 GHs here. What has he stolen? He's stolen the Mana Burn. GH continuing to try and do as much as he can, but here comes the Epicenter, as well as the Burrow Strike coming through from Mind Control. FNG drops Weeha down, but Hanskin falls too.
Here comes Miracle, though.
On the side of Alliance. GH trying to run out of the hands of Nico Baby. He doesn't want to give up his perfect game. There's the vacuum back, so that might keep Nico Baby alive, but, well, now he can catch up
Spirit
and kill him off
Siphon.
anyway. Telekinesis up in the air is Limp. GG is called. Nigma 4 for 1, 44 to 11. We'll take game 2. We're going to a game 3.
Wow.
As Nigma play the perfect game, coming off what was a bit of a destructive game from Alliance in game 1.
They got 44 kills in 23 minutes, Peacock. That's like almost a kill every 30 seconds.
Yes,
On Nigma.
that is,
I mean,
nuts.
And you know what I quite like? They spread the deaths evenly on Alliance across the team. Wasn't
8,
anybody
9,
that
and
like
10.
feeding massively. They're all taking turns. It's teamwork. Even when they're losing,